Thank you very much, Dari, and welcome to the NCAA Softball Regional presented by Capital One. Gorgeous night on night one in Knoxville, Tennessee, home to the number 7 overall national seed Tennessee Lady Volunteers taking on the champs from the Horizon League, the Northern Kentucky Norse, making their second appearance in the NCAA tournament in program history. Fun one coming up later on tonight from this regional, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Indiana out of the Big Ten, Virginia out of the ACC. This figures to be a highly competitive regional on Rocky Top. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside my partner, Amanda Scarborough. We are thrilled to be here for this pod of 4. And Amanda, before we talk this matchup, I know you're super excited. Field of 64. We're going to crown a national champion at some point here at the end of this run.
Makes me so excited. Today is maybe my favorite day of softball, but I can say that for the next 3 weekends, I guess. But it's crazy to think that a national champion is going to play their first game today. I mean, a future national champion, just like Texas was playing in day 1 of regionals last year, going on to win a national championship. A future national champion in 2026 is playing right now. But think about Tennessee. They could potentially be a national championship contender. We've been talking about them since February because of their pitching staff. They have top to bottom the best pitching staff in the country. You know about Carlin Pickens, the 2-time SEC pitcher of the year, and she's been fantastic, having an All-American year again this year. But Sage Marajeko finally healthy, back behind her, a sub-1 ERA, and Aaron Newer rounding out the pitching staff, who will get the start tonight against NKU, just over a 1 ERA. The 3 of them are the deepest pitching staff and the best pitching staff in the country in the field of 64.
And it's become just sort of old hat here in Knoxville. This staff is now top 2 in the country in ERA for the 3rd year in a row. It has been a sensational year for the Lady Vols in the circle. On the flip side, they will take on an NKU team that had an up and down year. Went on a 3-11 skid at one point. Weren't even sure they'd make the Horizon League tournament. They've since won a Division I program record 10 games in a row, 6 of those by 1 run. Tonight they'll try to do something they've never done, and that is beat Tennessee. Can they pick up an NCAA tournament win against the national seed? We've already seen one go down today. First pitch is next.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Tennessee Lady Vols hosting their 21st consecutive regional in the NCAA tournament and hosting for the second time the NKU Norse, who were here back in 2023. It's a Norse team led by a handful of returning players, including Brielle DeMemo, who has an RBI in each of the last 4 games during this 10-game win streak for NKU. Our starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Morgan Jarek, in her second season as the head coach, was here for the 2023 regional against Tennessee as an assistant. Her team will have to contend with one of 3 terrific arms in the circle for Tennessee tonight. It's Erin Newer.
Yeah, you could flip a coin for this Tennessee pitching staff of who you want to pitch the first game and get the start in their first game of the the NCAA tournament. But Erin Newer, the sophomore, is going to get this start. She has exceptional stuff this year as a sophomore.
And delivers a strike to Matt Brow. Brow, one of 7 All-Horizon League players on this Norse roster that led the league this year. Down in the count 0-2. It is not an offense that swings an exceptionally heavy stick. Just 17 homers this year. That's the 3rd fewest in the field of 64. But they do have speed. Newer handles Brow, 1 down.
Erin Newer can ramp it up to 69, 70 miles an hour with her drop ball. That's going to be a pitch that she relies on a lot. But what makes her so unique is a spinny, off-speed rise ball that comes in at just under 60 miles an hour. That rise ball is her best chase pitch. It's also her best swing and miss pitch. Kind of looks like a changeup. It's floaty, it's spinny. It is so unique to her.
Spinny and floaty. So how do you prepare for that if you're in the batter's box?
Honestly, it might be the pitch that I would want to hit off of her. It's just hard to pick up out of her hand because she can ramp it up to close to 70, and then that rise ball just gives a completely different look to these hitters. We'll see, too, how much she shows them that rise ball this first time through. Maybe it's a pitch that she wants to try to save or show more the second time through the lineup.
Taking on the freshman Kenzie Goley in the 2-hole. Hit a team-high 348 this year. Can be an X factor offensively for this Norse team. During this 10-game win streak, the Norse have relied heavily on their pitching and their props. The squid head in the dugout. Fun group, right? There's a strikeout of Goley, 2 down in the first of the night for Erin Newer.
This is this drop ball that will just fall off the table. She'll throw her drop ball over half the time. It is the pitch that she leans on, gets a chase there. Well out of the strike zone, that pitch just fell off the table. So think about that, a drop ball that drops 10 to 12 inches, and then a rise ball that moves up 10 to 12 inches. That's an off-speed pitch.
Rhodes, first pitch swinging, rolls it to Mackenzie Butt, race to the bag, and she got there. 1-2-3 inning for Erin Newer. Number 7, Tennessee, will come to the plate when we return. Back in Knoxville as we take a look at the Lady Vol starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. Ella Dodge has perhaps been the most consistent bat in the Lady Vol lineup. At one point earlier this year, got on base 30 consecutive games. She will hit third tonight for Tennessee, whose offense looks to get going a little bit after they were upset in the SEC tournament against Ole Miss about a week and a half ago. They will take on Alicia Flores, who has pitched in this regional before, back in 2023.
No surprise to see Alicia Flores, the senior, the veteran, get the ball in this game here against a 7 overall national seed in Tennessee. They love the way that she competes, a fiery competitor and a leader for this team. So, of course, she's going to get the ball.
In steps Sophia Knight, the Boise State transfer. And all year long, Sophia Knight has, for the most part, hit in the leadoff spot. There's been a lot of jumbling this year for Karen Weekly and her staff, 2 through 8 in the lineup. One position that has remained pretty constant has been Sophia Knight. And that is touched in foul territory by Emma Ginn.
More of a touch and go player or hitter, like she just tried to do there by laying down a bunt, touches it, goes down the line, trying to bunt her way on. So much speed, just that prototypical Tennessee leadoff hitter that you've seen throughout this program for literally decades. Sophia Knight just fits right into the top of the order for Tennessee with her speed and triple threat.
Maybe a switch up of the earpiece here for Emma Ginn. Or maybe a reset.
Alicia Flores, her go-to pitch is going to be her curveball. Coach Morgan Jarek says that her spin has developed over the course of her career at NKU, especially with that curveball. It's a pitch that she's going to go to the most. We'll also mix in a screwball and a changeup, but she's very experienced, had a redshirt year, so she's a older senior or redshirt senior. Had some back injury earlier on.
Missed her entire junior season with that back injury. Last year was a bit of a struggle for her, but has bounced back big this year. And Emma Ginn now going with the signals after the earpiece may have malfunctioned. We will keep an eye on that as the game progresses. Well, she was fun to talk to yesterday, wasn't she, Emma Ginn?
I really enjoyed just her outlook and perspective on this team. And her teammates' perspective on her is what was really touching of Emma Ginn back behind the plate. And when she talks in such specific details about her pitchers and about this program. And you can just tell she pays attention to the details, exactly what you want for a catcher.
2-2 count tonight. Flare to the left side. It is caught at third by Mac Brow, 1 down.
Next up for Tennessee, right fielder, number 55, Gabby Leach.
Gabby Leach, the junior from the Woodlands, Texas, looks at a strike. Playing alongside her twin sister, Alana, who will bat 4th in the lineup tonight for Tennessee.
That changeup dropping it down all the way to 48 miles an hour.
Well, she's been a catalyst, Amanda, for this 10-game win streak for the Norse. Her last 10 appearances, she's gone 6-1 with a 2.88 ERA in the circle.
Well, she said, my changeup has been really on recently, and that's a pitch that you have to have against a program like Tennessee. I mean, it's a pitch that you have to have in any game, but coming into the regional feeling good about your changeup is definitely going to be a confidence builder against this Tennessee offense.
You asked her, what's your favorite pitch? She said curveball and more curveball. But this year, the change has been relied upon a little bit more for Flores. Hitters count to Leach. Catches the corner for strike 2 to Leach's surprise, and a full count to the Tennessee starting right fielder.
You can see that Flores is just kind of poking around on that outside corner to Leach, and both Flores and Leach trying to figure out what the strike zone is going to be. It's a good count for Gabby Leach. 5 home runs in full counts.
Good swing on that full count pitch. Bounced in the dirt, and an 8-pitch walk drawn by Gabby Leach.
Third baseman, number 25.
Morgan
Ella
Jarek
Dodd.
became a mother for the first time earlier this year. In fact, she had to miss 6 weeks of fall ball during maternity leave. Has an 8-month-old son who was there for their Horizon League Tournament Championship win. Not here this weekend, he's watching at home. Henry and her husband Sam, so proud of what Morgan and her staff have been able to do in just 2 short years since becoming the head coach at NKU. Back in the tournament for the 2nd time ever.
What really stuck out to me about Morgan Jarek is how she leans on important influences and head coaches in her life. Kate Drohan, who she played for at Northwestern and was on staff there as well, and then Catherine Gleason, who was a longtime head coach here at Northern Kentucky too.
Scorched off the bat of Ella Dodge. Foul.
And she's so young. We've seen a lot of young head coaches in the tournament this year. College of Charleston, Cal Baptist, and Morgan Jarek, all 30 or below. I mean, young head coaches leading their teams in the NCAA tournament.
Morgan is just 28 years old. The 1-2. Dodge smash to center, and Rhodes makes the catch. Leach back to first, 2 away.
That is a good barrel by Ella Dodge. You can't strike it much better. 72 miles an hour exit speed off the bat for Dodge, just right at Rhodes in center field. That was well struck.
Alana Leach with 2 down and a runner aboard in the midst of a breakout junior season. First team All-SEC. 7 of her 11 hits in April left the yard. Has found some pop in her bat at the end of the 2026 campaign. And frankly, they need that pop. Lost some power from last year. Haven't quite found the combination to replace that. Perhaps Alana Leach can be that pop in the postseason.
Well, I feel like this is just a Tennessee offense that has been hot and cold. They've had really hot moments where they set the world on fire and have scored a bunch of runs, and then they've had moments where they just can't figure out ways to generate runs. And I know that it's been frustrating for this program, especially with their deep pitching staff that keeps teams at bay game in and game out. They want to put things together.
Runner goes in the dirt. Ginn won't have a throw. Gabby Leach in scoring position.
Well, now's the time, and for an offense that's figuring out ways to score runs in the postseason, doing it in April and May, just finding ways to generate runs, you want to score early in your regional on your home field.
3-1 down the left field line, tailing foul. Victoria Flores makes the catch, the twin sister of Alicia, who dances out of the first inning unscathed. No score in Knoxville.
there is nothing like the Women's College World Series.
We have begun the trip to the Women's College World Series Round 1 beginning today. 9 Women's College World Series appearances for Tennessee, still chasing that elusive title, as is Oklahoma State, hosting their own regional this weekend, and Nebraska and Jordy Fromm. Could this be the year that the Huskers lift the national championship trophy? Certainly for Tennessee, Amanda, they've been right there. Think about 2 out of the last 3 Women's College World Series championships. Karen Weekly has had her team on the doorstep of the Champ Series. Semifinal losses to FSU in 2023 and to Texas last year.
Just the one thing that they're missing is that national championship. We've seen them at the World Series, a ton of experience for Karen Weekly. It's crazy to think this is her 21st consecutive season hosting regionals. I mean, they make it look easy. It is not easy to do to earn a top 16 national seed, but here at Tennessee, it's what you've come to expect, a regional hosted here in Knoxville.
And she has made some pretty, dare I say, drastic changes, not only to the batting order, but also to her defense. Speaking of, Erin Newer fielding her position, 1 pitch, 1 out. She's thrown 10 pitches in the game and produced 4 outs. Mackenzie Butt starting at first base for just the 16th time this year. Ella Dodge moving from second to third. And Emma Clark, who had been the starting first baseman, moving over to second base, where she's most comfortable, has traditionally been a middle infielder throughout her youth and travel ball days.
And then Bella Faw over at shortstop, she stays the same. She's the only infielder that did not move around, but something that they worked on after the early exit of the SEC tournament was they practiced a lot of defense. Karen Weekly talked about staying slow, keeping her eyes on the ball, and they wanted to make some changes, and they're pretty detailed and specific for their reasons why, especially with Ella Dodge moving from second to third. Ella Dodge, an intense player, and maybe was thinking a little bit too much at second base. You're further away from the plate and the hitter. You have more time to think while the ball is coming to you. So they're going to slide her over to the hot corner, where oftentimes you have 0.1 seconds to think as the ball is flying at you.
Here is the second baseman, Emma Clark, fielding that well, 2 gone.
And then for Emma Clark, they kind of felt like she was constrained at first base. She has great range. They noticed it at practice when they were practicing her there after the SEC tournament. They love having her and her range abilities over at second base to cover a lot of ground now.
And the infield has been tested early. 4 of the 5 outs produced by Erin Newer have been on the ground, as Lexi Morris pops it foul. You were at that SEC tournament in which Tennessee lost to Ole Miss, and one of the things that really stood out to us, Amanda, after that game was that Karen Weekly felt her team was playing on their heels. And it's surprising for a team that was ranked the #1 team in the country for a third of the year. Meanwhile, that ball spun from foul territory back to fair, and Elsa Morrison handles it with ease at 1-2-3 inning in the second for Erin Newer.
So smart to play that out. Freshman back behind the plate, Morrison. That ball rolled foul and then came back fair, but Morrison, don't you worry, she was on it with a perfect throw.
get to Oklahoma City. We are into the postseason.
NCAA softball regionals continue across our entire family of ESPN networks, including later on tonight from this regional on ESPN 8 Eastern. We'll have Virginia and Indiana. But Amanda, already we have seen the parity of this sport shine with Stetson taking down national seed Florida State.
Surprising to see. Stetson not an easy opponent whatsoever, but they came out swinging against the ACC Pitcher of the Year, Jazzy Francic. Ashton Danley entered the game to try to stop the bleeding. They scored off of her as well, but Stetson came out swinging in Tallahassee.
And to take you back to what you said in the bottom of the first inning with Tennessee, that's why it's so important to score early in your own regionals. Set that tone. And don't allow the underdog to feel any kind of momentum on a fly out to right field handled by Kenzie Goley, one away.
Yeah, because what that does, it just emboldens the opponent that they feel like they have a chance against you. It just gives them confidence each inning that you don't score, that they keep the score exactly where it's at. You feel it even more so, I think, in the postseason.
And we know this Northern Kentucky team has been exceptional in close games this year. 10-0 in one-run games are the Norse. This is sent to deep center. Off the bat of Emma Clark. Goodbye. There's your early score for the Lady Vols. A 1-0 start for Tennessee.
Home run number 11 on the year for Emma Clark.
First run of the NCAA tournament for Tennessee is off the bat of Emma Clark, who goes up looking for that curveball. That was not a bad location by Alicia Flores. It was a half ball off the plate, but when you are a hitter going up and looking for that pitch that you know you're going to get from Flores and you're on time with it, it looks just like that, as Tennessee must have heard us talking about it, wanting to score first on their home field here at the regional.
Ball in the dirt to Elsa Morrison. I talked about Karen Weekly feeling like her team had played a little bit on their heels in that early exit to Ole Miss. That included offensively too. This team is so much better when they're playing with a lead and when they're scoring runs. And that might sound simple and obvious, as this is struck into the gap in left center. A long single for Morrison. But with the pitching of this Tennessee team, Amanda, it doesn't take much for the Lady Vols to establish a dominant presence in a game.
Well, you know, sometimes I think when you know, and this is a subconscious thing, when you know that you have a great pitching staff like Tennessee does, I think sometimes the offense isn't going to show up as much. Like, it's different than UCLA and Oklahoma, as Carlin Pickens is in the bullpen, where their pitchers, they know they're going to give up some runs. So every game, UCLA and OU go into a game of, we have to score as many runs as possible because we have to protect our pitching staff. For Tennessee, it's kind of like their pitching staff protects their offense. So it's the opposite, where their offense doesn't have their back against the wall as much, knowing that their pitchers are going to show up and put up zeros consistently.
Dalen Holly making the start tonight in the 8th spot as the DP for Tennessee with a 2-0 count.
And those well-struck balls by Clark and Morrison back-to-back are going to make Alicia Flores a little bit more timid, put the ball on the plate. You see her falling behind here, 3-0. Finds the strike zone there, but I mean, those balls, 70+ miles an hour exit velocity off the bat of Clark and Morrison for those hits.
To first, only play as a tap of the bag, 2 down. You mentioned the exit velocity. of those two swings. That's what Jenna Rhodes remembered about her time playing in this regional back in 2023. The starting center fielder for NKU went to the coaching staff and said, "Can you smoke balls at us in practice?" That was an eye-opener for her. She remembered very clearly from stepping onto this stage just a few years ago.
And funny you say that. I was watching the Howard Duke game with Chucky Kemp and Jenny Dalton Hill, and they were talking about the same thing in the way that Howard prepared for Duke. That Lair Boutte, who is, I guess, on staff at Howard, was just crushing balls at them and hitting it as hard as she possibly could to prepare them for that high exit speed that comes off of these bats, of these strong hitters.
1-1 count to Bella Fall. Runner in scoring position for Tennessee. Strike two.
Be important for Alicia Flores to get out of this just giving up the one run. With that runner in scoring position, 2-out scoring is also the name of the game in the postseason. So for Tennessee, you want to capitalize on that runner in scoring position. And if you're Flores, it would mean a lot to shut down the offense here to quickly get out with 2 outs, especially in a 2-strike count.
Ball's hit just 241 this year with 2 outs. The 2-2. Oh, just missed from Flores in a full count to Fall.
It's a good pitch, and she wanted that. About a ball off the plate. Looked a little bit inside, but as a pitcher, knowing what's at stake here with the runner in scoring position, top of the lineup on deck, you wanted that call.
And misses with the 3-2. The second free pass of the night for Alicia Flores turns the lineup back over for Tennessee.
For Tennessee, center fielder number 2, Sophia Knight.
And now you take on the best 2-out hitter all year for Tennessee, Sophia Knight.
Well, notice in this situation, she's keeping her feet still to swing away. Runner in scoring position, 2 on, 2 outs. We saw her run through the box, try to use her short game to find a way to get on to lead off the game. Now has a different approach with runners on and can go to something else quickly too.
Knight drops down a bunt in from third Brow, and instead it's bobbled by Flores, and the bases are loaded for Tennessee.
Her keeping her feet still on that first pitch of the at-bat and taking it kept the corners back. They're thinking, all right, just like what we were talking about, runner in scoring position, she's going to swing away. So the corners are back on their heels because of what she showed in pitch number 1. Then she squares around to bunt, lays it down the line, passes the bat to Gabby Leach. Now the bases are loaded for Tennessee.
The Vols have seen 4 straight hitters counts against Alicia Flores, who has fallen behind in each of the last 4 batters she has faced since giving up that solo home run to Emma Clark. Well, don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA Softball Regionals. We'll take you to the best live action on the 7 Innings Live show on the app. You can see every game and every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series only on the ESPN networks. Base is chucked for Gabby Leach. And now the 5th straight first pitch ball from Alicia Flores. High leverage moment here for the grad student in the circle.
It's a great pitch by Flores. It's going to be so important for her in this at-bat to keep her curveball on the edges and not let it come a ball, 2 balls on the plate. Be sure to mix in her changeup too when she can.
Leach handcuffed into right field. It is caught by Kenzie Goley. And again, Flores dancing out of a jam, this time with the bases loaded. Gives up one, a homer by Emma Clark.
On the first pitch of the at-bat, Emma Clark, aggressive Tennessee was in this inning, barrels one up to put Tennessee on the board for the first run of the Knoxville Regional.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regional presented by Capital One. From Knoxville, Tennessee Lady Vols with a 1-0 lead. We're now joined by Morgan Jarek, the head coach of the Horizon League champion Northern Kentucky Norse. Coach, appreciate your time. You were here in 2023 as an assistant. Now you're back as a head coach. What can you take from that experience to help your team this time around?
Yeah, absolutely. We're used to this environment, right? What an awesome atmosphere we got here. Just really excited for our team. And like I said, our seniors have won a ring, and they've been back here. So we're just excited to be back and want to keep seeing us put some good swings on balls.
Coach, what was the message to Alicia Flores coming into this game against Tennessee's offense?
Yeah, absolutely. Our team is just resilient and tough and tenacious, which is one of our core values, and nobody embodies that better than her. And I just told her, I said, be you. You don't have to do anything extra. You just trust your stuff, and I'm really proud of the way she's doing that so far tonight.
Your team's also fun. You've got a catcher's mitt maybe on your head. There's a Santa Claus in your dugout. We saw
I should have warned them because I should have warned them about this. I don't know about this.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Tell you what, you'd never know that they're the underdog in this game, down a run. There's a looseness about the Norse. And I don't think I've ever seen a Santa Claus in a dugout in May. Have you?
I haven't, and I'm like, do they still sell Santa gear this time of year? I mean, we're like smack dab in the middle of it, where we're like 6 months
probably
past,
at a
6
big
months
discount.
Yeah, big discount this time of year.
Bottom part of the order here for NKU. And McGinn looks at his strike. Boy, has Aaron Newer been sharp. 6 up and 6 down. 2 innings of 9 pitches or less. First year as the starting catcher for him again. Rolls it back to Newer. First out of the inning.
You can tell how much she's using this drop ball because of all the ground ball outs that she's getting.
Number 32, Victoria Flores.
The ball has not left the infield yet against her. Every out has been on the ground except for that one strikeout.
Swing and a miss from Victoria Flores.
And that's that rise ball, Matt. You're going to continue to see Aaron Newer use that rise ball. She can throw it at each of the 4 different quadrants. Low, she can move it up in the zone and get you to chase, but it kind of looks like a changeup. because it's off speed. There's another example of it there. But if you see the pitch register at 58, 59 miles an hour, that's likely her rise ball. And on that last pitch, wherever she lands, we kind of have a crater out in front of the circle now, which as a pitcher, you're absolutely going to feel whenever the ground does this below you. And it's why it's so important that the ground is packed so hard right in that landing area. And you rarely see this mid-game, that the field kind of collapses like this. But look at her stride foot land, and you see it move. That is so uncomfortable and a little bit frightening as a pitcher, because think about your knee, your ankle, your foot. You're trusting that that ground is not going to move. Your full force is going into your left foot. So for it to move like that is really scary. You're thinking about your knee.
That looks like the site of a meteor crash.
I know. This is going to take a little while. I don't feel like this is going to be an easy fix. She's laughing about it, but, I mean, you don't usually see that.
I want to know what the prescription's going to be to fix this for the field crew here at Tennessee. They came out onto the field, chatted with Karen Weekly, took a peek at what was wrong, and then ran back to their section of the field where they keep all the tools. We have a lot of tools coming out here at this point. Here comes the wheelbarrow, along with a broom and a shovel, some sort of vacuuming device.
Oh my gosh. Oh, move that. And then we're going to have to chalk it, I think, a little bit too, so that's going to be something.
Did you ever, as a pitcher, experience anything, maybe not exactly like this, but where the ground felt unsettled for you?
Yeah. I mean, every field is going to be a little bit different. Some's going to be overwatered. Some are going to be a little bit more dry. So it's something that you know, in warm-up pitches, you're definitely feeling out as a pitcher. And usually, this deep into the game, you're usually good to go. So I'm surprised that this didn't happen in the first inning, but it just, from people landing there over and over and over again, it just kind of gave way.
New dirt. Fresh dirt. Got to get rid of the old dirt first. Now we're opening the new dirt. There's the water hose right there. That has to be applied.
This is very detailed here. I would love to know the actual word for the tool that water comes out of. The sprayer, but is there a technical term? It reminds me of whenever you get your house sprayed for pest control,
yes. Yeah. Sounds like we could do a segment on this at some point during the regional. Get the field crew up here in the booth.
And there's the pounder,
stamper.
The stamper. You can hear that bad boy. Now you got the kitty litter.
I'm just impressed by the amount of bodies being thrown at this divot in front of the pitching circle here in Knoxville.
It's all hands on deck situation for the field crew. Kind of like the pitching staff late in a game that really matters. All hands on deck for this moment to get it done as quickly as possible for us.
Feels like the pit crew at a race car track. Here comes another bucket of something. This might be the chalk to reconnect the circle.
And is it going to be hand done for the circle, or how are we going to distribute the chalk is my question, because it's just in a bucket right now.
Might we fish another tool out of the wheelbarrow? That guy deserves a raise, by the way. The one who's doing the stamping, he's been doing that for about the last 90 seconds. Labor intensive.
So there's the dry dust. I used to call it kitty litter. And that's the unofficial word for it as a player.
That's Amanda's technical term.
That's a softball player's technical term for it. It's not actually kitty litter, guys, but.
By the way, if you're just joining us, this is all happening because Aaron Newer stepped down and moved an entire chunk of the dirt off its original seat. And now a round of applause for the field crew. They did it all in 3 minutes, and Aaron Newer now testing out the new dirt.
Yeah, it looked a lot better. And the question is, are they going to chalk or not chalk to redo the circle? And it looks like it's a no, unless they just want to make sure that it was okay before they chalked it. So that could still be the missing piece here, is if they're going to do the chalk to close out the circle here.
Well, 2 members of the crew remain out there just to make sure that Newer's okay with the landing spot now.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Here she is. 3 minutes and 4 seconds is all it took. That is pretty good. That is NASCAR pit crew level speed from the crew here in Tennessee. And we're back to playing softball.
All right.
One count to Victoria Flores. 1 away, base is clear, 1-run game in favor of the Lady Vols. Second strikeout of the night for Newer, 2 away.
Going to her off-speed rise ball that almost looks like a little bit of an off-speed curveball because it has a backwards rotation, but look how it is on the outside corner, low and away. That's what I'm talking about with that rise ball. She can work it in each of the different quadrants. She puts it exactly where she wants to.
Two-way player Makari Chapman coming to the plate here. She can pitch, she can play both outfield corners, she can DP. Tonight she is the DP in the 9th spot for NKU. Fooled on that pitch, down in the count 0-2. '27th pitch of the night for Newer. 9 up and 9 down for the super sophomore in the circle for Tennessee. Lady Vols cruising up 1-0 in round 1 of the NCAA tournament. This Tennessee team has had a ton of recent success under Karen Weekly, back-to-back SEC regular season titles in 2023 and again in 24. Last year made it to the Women's College World Series semifinal for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. This year began the season 26-0. New program record here on Rocky Top. But the last 26 games have given this fan base a little bit of pause. Offense, and particularly lack thereof, has been a big topic of conversation around here, Amanda.
Well, of course, 26-0 start. They were undefeated well or deep into the season, and then you hit SEC play. You're going to be facing better teams, better pitching than likely what you faced in February. But it's just been this offense that we talked about that's had trouble getting going. I mean, that runs per game is probably what's the most concerning for me when you look at that graphic. Batting average down. They've had 10 losses, the runs per game down, and they're trying to get back to that form that they had in February that we saw in Clearwater in the Invitational Tournament that just scored big-time runs.
And they don't need much because of how good this pitching staff is. They are 37-2 this year when scoring 3 runs or more. However, over the last 9 games, they have been held to 4 runs or less. Of course, a lot of that is who you're playing. The likes of Alabama, #1 overall seed in the tournament. Dodge flares it into left, charging all the way in to make that catch. Flores one away. That lost to Ole Miss in the SEC tournament.
The left fielder.
And it's part of why Karen Weekly made some of the defensive changes that she did make. Felt like they needed the bat of Mackenzie Butt back in the lineup. Taylon Holly back in the lineup as the DP tonight for Tennessee.
Well, and the thing that she said that they worked on post-SEC tournament was for sure their defense, which we talked about, their defensive changes in the infield, getting Mackenzie Butt into the offensive order, but specifically and collectively as an offense, being committed to a plan and staying committed throughout the course of a game. And she talked about, those moments that you see that a hitter is committed to the plan, celebrating those moments. And when they come back from their at-bats and go into the dugout, she wants them to verbalize to the coaching staff how they felt like their at-bats went and verbalize if they did stay committed to the plan.
One of the interesting things about this Tennessee team, there's not a single senior in the starting lineup tonight for the Lady Vols. And Karen Weekly said that's one thing you see with young players sometimes is the connection between celebration and result, Amanda, instead of celebrating the process, celebrating the, as you put it, commitment to your approach at the plate.
Well, because you can have a great approach and still get out. I mean, that's just what's going to happen in our game. But they were getting too caught up in the results despite maybe having a great approach at the plate. So then what she saw, Karen Weekly did, was poor body language after at-bats and a lack of communication and lack of eye contact and engaging with each other.
Leach rips it into right field. Another base hit for Tennessee. 4th hit of the night for the Lady Vols. 1 on and 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd.
It's a good at-bat by Leach. She took a really close pitch on the inside corner that Flores wanted and made her bring that curveball more on the plate. Capitalized on a mistake. That pitch was right down the heart of the plate. Leach barrels it up for a hit.
And now Mackenzie Butt came into the night batting .305. A little bit of a different role this year. Sophomore transfer from Boise State, was the everyday starting first baseman for Boise State last year. Sends this high but shallow. Drifting all the way back to the wall. Jenna Rhodes had a great beat on that despite having to make a late adjustment. Makes the second out of the inning.
Jenna Rhodes is another veteran out there. A big part of the senior class for NKU, a big part of their success offensively and defensively, just sticking with this, trusting where her feet are on the warning track and that wall was going to be approaching soon. And I guarantee that Gully, her right fielder, was helping her understand that she had room to make that catch.
2 gone for Emma Clark. Homered in her last at bat. So far tonight, that has been the difference in the game. Clark has done a little bit of everything this year for Tennessee. She's caught, she's played first, she's played third, and now she is the starting second baseman in the opening game of the NCAA tournament for Tennessee.
You can tell that Flores is wanting to be careful with her, knowing that she hit a home run in her last at bat. These pitches finishing off the plate. She's not wanting to leave one too sweet.
7th 3-ball count of the night for Flores. Pegs a strike. Elsa Morrison awaits on deck for Tennessee. Singled in her last at bat. 3-1 misses low, and she'll come to the plate here with 2 on and 2 out.
Catcher number 22, Elsa Morrison.
And now Flores has a free pass in each of the first 3 innings tonight against Tennessee. Can they take advantage? They've left 4 aboard in tonight's game, including the bases loaded in the second. To short. Morris, long throw, and it's picked by Brielle DeMemo. Again, Tennessee stranding multiple runners. Still a 1-run game in Knoxville.
For Tennessee.
Back on Rocky Top, 1-0 lead for Tennessee. A hitless 3 innings for Erin Newer. We're now joined by her head coach, Karen Weekly. Coach, Erin Newer might be the quote-unquote forgotten name in your rotation just because of some of the other star power you have. What's impressed you tonight about her?
You're getting Erin doing what Erin does. I mean, she throws a great drop ball. She's got a wicked rise that, you know, takes some miles off it. Really tough to get on time with. What I like tonight is she's pounding the zone. She's getting ahead. They're swinging early. The pitch count's really low, and she fields her position very, very well.
Coach, how did you build this deep pitching staff that you have?
Hey, recruiting. It all starts with recruiting. Being able to recruit them, knowing they're going to play for a great pitching coach. I mean, the proof's in the pudding with Megan Smith. And the All-Americans we've had here every year she's been here. And, it's pretty rare when you have 2 All-American pitchers on a staff in the same year, and that happens at Tennessee. Megan meets them where they are. She's going to coach them, taking what they do best and make it better. And they love working with her and love playing here.
Coach, you mentioned Newer fielding her position 4 times. She's gotten a ground out to the circle tonight. Pretty impressive stuff. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So often you hear Coach Weekly talk about Megan Rhodes-Smith, Amanda, and she does not get enough credit, in the words of Karen Weekly, for everything she does. Not just developing arms, but the mental side of the game as well when you step in between the lines.
Yeah, she maybe is one of the more underrated pitching coaches in the country, because Karen Weekly is absolutely right. I mean, there's just All-American after All-American on this Tennessee pitching staff. And remember, Megan Rhodes was a Tennessee pitcher herself, so getting to coach at her alma mater, and the pitchers love working for her. Her and I actually the exact same age. Those are the exact years that I played against her and Monica Abbott in the 2007 Women's College World Series. But she just continues to make the strengths of these pitchers even stronger. And mentally, you're right, keeping them in. Like, you can have really good stuff and still not go out and get the wins and shut down offenses, but she produces mentally strong pitchers with good stuff.
Second time through the order here for NKU. They went hitless first time through. 9 up and 9 down for Erin Newer, sophomore under the tutelage of Megan Rhodes-Smith, who has a master's in sports psychology. And one of the things that Tennessee pitchers bring up about her is that they do a lot of journaling at the recommendation of Megan Rhodes-Smith. Practice to flesh out whatever's on your mind. Did you have anything when you were pitching that helped you work through the mental side of the game?
I think crying into my pillow sometimes at night, just balancing being a hitter and a pitcher and wanting to be a good student at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't as fun to be around. I mean, not that I was like mean or something. I was just so serious. So I would have loved to have done a little journaling, had a coach that encouraged me to do that. We didn't have a pitching coach on staff at A&M consistently. So it was a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because you became self-reliant and took ownership in things. And I feel like a big part now of how I coach is because we didn't have a pitching coach and get to think for yourself. But I would have loved to have had a coach like Megan Rhodes-Smith. Get to work with her every day.
And that's the thing that often gets forgotten too, right? In today's era of college sports, you mentioned the balancing of the academics.
Yeah. Well, it is always interesting to me in day one of regionals in this 1 versus 4 matchup, what the head coach is going to do. Who are they going to start? We saw Florida start Keegan Rothrock against Florida A&M. We saw A&M start Sydney Peters against UConn. Those are the aces of the staff. We saw Florida State start Jazzy Francic, ACC Pitcher of the Year, against Stetson in that 1 versus 4. A coach on a Friday in regionals has a decision to make about who they're going to start in this matchup, just thinking about how it's going to set them up the rest of the weekend. And Tennessee's pitchers not only have been good this entire season, but specifically with 2-strike counts. They have the 3 best 2-strike pitchers in the country. Look at these batting averages with 2 strikes as Newer finds herself in yet another 2-strike count.
Kenzie Goley, one of 2 Norse hitters to strike out tonight against Newer. She's gotten a bevy of ground ball outs between those Ks. Getting a fresh ball here from Megan Rabin, our home plate umpire.
Remember back going into the Clearwater tournament before we had Tennessee, so second week of season, we asked Karen Weekly, who needs to step up and make a jump for your team to achieve greatness this year? And she, without hesitation, said, it's Erin Newer. She saw a completely different mindset from Erin Newer during the fall that just stayed consistent through winter break, through January, and all throughout the spring season to produce these big results for her and be a star in the circle.
First base runner of the night for NKU. Comes with one down in the fourth. And now Jenna Rhodes will come to the plate. But first, a visit to the rubber by Megan Rhodes-Smith. Now, Jenna Rhodes was the MVP of the Horizon League tournament. Pair of wins for NKU to pick up their second Horizon League crown in program history, and she did this to send them to the champ game.
In the semifinal, hit a solo walk-off home run over Green Bay in the bottom of the eighth. That was her first home run of the season, and she told us that was her first walk-off home run of her career. Talk about somebody playing big in the biggest moments. That was Jenna Rhodes and the Horizon League Championship. 3 extra base hits, 5 for 10. The tournament MVP, exactly who NKU wants up, down by 1 run.
Told us very candidly, I went up trying to hit a home run. Swung at a ball or two over her head, then got a pitch to hit. And her teammates spoke it into existence, in her words. Before she went to the plate, she told us she heard from multiple teammates in the dugout, you're gonna hit one out. And she did, to send them to the championship game of the conference tournament.
I like when she talked about that at bat. She was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was hacking for that walk-off. Like, I was kind of trying to put it over the fence. And she said off of her bat, she didn't know that it was over and that was her best softball moment ever.
Soft fly ball to second. First ball in the air tonight for NKU. Gloved by Emma Clark, 2 gone.
It's a big out to be able to get a clutch Jenna Rhodes out. And a lazy pop-up right there in the infield.
Two gone for Brielle DeMemo. Remember, this is a team that has excelled in one-run games this year. 10-0 in games decided by 1 run. They have won 10 games in a row coming into this tournament, 6 of those by 1 run.
All 3 in the Horizon League tournament were close games. I'm sure the parents for NKU and
they've got a few
fans,
extra grays coming to the NCAA tournament.
Just dying in the stands because their bid to the NCAA tournament relied on what they did in that tournament.
Slow roller gets past Newer at third. It's Dodge. Moving from second to third base and looking slick in the hot corner.
For Northern Kentucky in the top of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, home to the Women's College World Series, awaits our field of 8. Starting with a field of 64 this weekend, and here in Knoxville, a field of 4 with 7th ranked national seed Tennessee hosting Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Virginia. That one figures to be a highly competitive matchup. Starting later on tonight, 8 Eastern over on ESPN. And remember, the winner of this Knoxville regional will take on the winner out of Athens, featuring a very good Georgia team that, remember, came from behind to beat Oklahoma in the SEC tournament. Some possible pairings here in the Super Regionals. Amanda, if chalk holds, which we've already seen Florida State lose tonight to Stetson.
Yeah, you always look ahead to see what top seed is matched up with the other top seed. If it holds, which I'm expecting a lot of upsets. We've already had one with Florida State, and they're still in the tournament. It's double elimination, so they'll be playing tomorrow in an elimination game. But I feel like we're going to have some upsets tomorrow. Remember, it's still an elimination day. Is tomorrow teams start to go home, and Sunday we could have some upsets too.
Feels like everybody in the sport this year has agreed that this is the most wide open race to win a national title that we've had maybe ever, but certainly in recent memory. Scorched up the middle off the bat of Tennessee's Taylon Holly, who dives into second base, stretching that into a leadoff double.
Look at her go down and get this pitch. I don't even know how she got her barrel there. That was a ball off the plate below her knees, and she still hit it 70 miles an hour up toward the middle of the field. Good piece of hitting by Taylon Holly to cover that outer half and barrel one up.
That's why she's back in the lineup. Another above 300 hitter for Tennessee. And now Bella Faw in the 9 spot. And now can Tennessee, with less than 2 outs, put something together with runners aboard? They are so far tonight 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Had a man in talking about just how wide open the race is this year to hoist the trophy in Oklahoma City. Remember, Tennessee starting 26-0, spent a third of the year as the #1 team in the country. For a long stretch of the regular season, they were viewed as a legit contender. And now sort of trying to prove that again as postseason has begun.
It's a great stop by Emma Ginn. You can see why these pitchers just love throwing to her so much. And talked about how Morgan Jarek, the head coach and pitching coach for Northern Kentucky, was out on maternity leave for several weeks in the fall. And that's a big moment that Emma Ginn had stepped up for this pitching staff to learn more.
Second base, Miller Stens over the first one down as Holly advances to third.
But Emma Ginn learned more about their mechanics and ways to communicate. Like, she stepped up, Emma Ginn did, when Morgan Jarek was gone, as they're going to call a timeout and talk this over with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs.
Well, it's back to the top of the order next for Tennessee. Sophia Knight, Gabby Leach, Ella Dodge all due up with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And the way Aaron Newer's pitching, this one run here at third probably feels monumental for NKU. And some activity in the bullpen for NKU. That is Makari Chapman, who began the night as their DP.
A lot of confidence in her and Flores and Chapman working together. They've done that a lot. NKU has, working them in tandem.
Mr. Worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We gon' boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire.
You talk about Emma Ginn. This is her first year, Amanda, as the starting catcher. Earlier tonight, her earpiece went out in the first inning. She's been given signs the old school way the rest of the evening. There she is flashing another one.
It's almost like we've gone so much to the one-way communication devices that we forgot what that looks like with the armband, you know, the wristband, the pitcher looking down at the sign and not even looking at the catcher anymore to pass on the signs. That's a good spot right there to not get the call. I'll tell you what, Flores has done such a nice job and a lot of these at-bats not leaving the ball over the heart of the plate.
(2-0). Knight down the left field line, foul. What a pickup Sophia Knight was in the transfer portal for Karen Weekly this year. Led the Mountain West last year in hits with 105. That's backhanded at first by DeMemo, and staying put, Taylin Holly. Very interesting not to see her go as soon as that ball hit the dirt, Amanda. And now with 2 outs, a chance again for Alicia Flores to dance out of this inning unscathed.
I'm wondering why on contact she was hesitant. In hindsight, DeMemo didn't even really look at her at third base either. She just went straight to the bag. And interesting, she didn't make a break toward home.
Holly began the inning with a leadoff double. Advanced to third on a ground out by Bella Faw. Now Gabby Leach at the plate, trying to drive her in with 2 outs. Tennessee tonight now just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They have left 6 runners aboard, including the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Flores 1 strike, 1 out away from getting out of the fourth. Two. Oh, just missed, and Leach loaded up for that one instead. A 3-2 count.
It's a great job of Gabby Leach holding her barrel back, recognizing that this is going to go a little bit out of the strike zone and being able to hold her barrel back.
4th full count of the night for Flores.
This curveball is just continuing to be tricky for Tennessee to barrel up. She has great spin on that curveball, and she's done a good job of keeping it low in the zone and working the corners with it.
Runner at third, 2 outs. Leach in the air to center. Back on it is Rhodes, and again Alicia Flores gets out of the inning, stranding the 7th base run of the night for Tennessee. Yep. Back in Knoxville, still the only run of the game. A solo shot on the first pitch Emma Clark saw went yard to dead center field. Her 11th home run of the game. So far, it's all Tennessee's needed because Erin Newer, Amanda, has been uber sharp.
Yeah, she's been efficient, going right at these hitters. Remember, she had not pitched since May 2nd at Missouri. Actually took the loss, so you know that she was just waiting to get back out there in the circle, and no better time than the first game of the NCAA tournament for Tennessee.
Leading off the fifth for NKU, Peyton Miller-Stenz. Misses outside for a ball. This Northern Kentucky team has had an up and down season. There was a point actually in April where they weren't sure they'd even make the Horizon League tournament, losing 2 of their first 3 Horizon League series. A little bit of a stretch there where it felt like they couldn't buy a win. Went 3-11 at one point and have since, Amanda, ripped off a Division I program record. 10 straight victories.
Well, it was needed to go back to what their team was all about and their goals that they had set in August. They had been talking about since August that they wanted to win a Horizon League championship. So they all went in on the verbiage, the language, even down to the locker room passcode to get into the locker room. They made it 5926, which is the date of the championship game in the Horizon League tournament. So just reminding each other, this is what we need to do to win a Horizon League championship, and talk about it and remember it every day that they go into the locker room.
Coach Morgan Jarrett told us everything was about holding people to that standard. First hit of the night for NKU. Trying to stretch it for 2. Not going to get there in time. Lexi Morris gunned down on an excellent relay by the Lady Vols.
First hit of the game for NKU to break up the no-hitter, and it finds a gap, and then it finds Knight's glove, who's taking the long route behind Leach. Emma Clark makes the tag. NKU trying to be aggressive, get a runner into scoring position, and there's that defense step up for Tennessee. Remember, that's what they worked on after the SEC tournament. And in a one-run game like this, that is a big-time play to have your pitchers and offense back.
You like Lexi Morris trying to stretch that for 2?
I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I always do. It's easy to say, oh, you should have just stayed at first. But Tennessee really has to play that perfectly, and they did. I mean, think about it. Sophia Knight was in the right position, backing up Leach. Leach took the short route. Knight took the long route. She was there. Perfect throw. Emma Clark makes a perfect tag. Everything has to go right.
And Newer comes back for her second strikeout of the inning, 4th of the night.
And talking a lot about Erin Newer and the infielders, because there's been a lot of ground balls, but finally one makes it to the outfield, and Knight to Clark steps up for the tag at second base. Newer loves that her defense had her back.
The Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, May 28th, 12 Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2026 WCWS, visit NCAA.com, the official home for all NCAA championships. Beautiful brick town in Oklahoma City. A little bit down the road from Devon Park, home of the Women's College World Series, home to the Olympic Games. Tennessee trying to get back to Oklahoma City, where they have been 9 times. Alicia Flores back in the circle, where she has been excellent tonight. Yes, she's gotten into some trouble at times, but Amanda has given up just the 1 run, and it was a mistake pitch to Emma Clark with nobody on base. The solo homer in the 2nd inning, still the difference in the game here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, she's competing, making pitches, keeping Tennessee off balance. And with the game being this close right now, Tennessee might have to make some decisions late in this game. They've really liked on using Carlin Pickens in relief, maybe not starting as much because Sage Marjeko and Erin Newer have been so good in those roles. There's Carlin in the dugout. We saw her in the bullpen earlier. But something that you noticed with how Tennessee has used Carlin has been in that relief role.
Line drive handled by Gully, 2 away.
With it being just a 1-run game at Northern Kentucky, getting a hit that finally found a gap to the outfield, wouldn't count it out. Maybe we see her later in the game. I mean, with it just being a 1-run game, I feel like anything is possible to try to secure a win here.
Tennessee just 4 and 5 in 1-run games this year. The Norse undefeated, 10-0 in games decided by 1 run. 2 outs, base is clear inside to Mackenzie Budd. And to your point about Carlin Pickens, she has not started since April 25th against Alabama. Last 5 outings, she's come out of the bullpen. That's the last 17 2/3 innings Carlin Pickens has pitched, all in relief. And that caught the leg of Mackenzie Budd.
Well, you know, people are looking at the scoreboard of all the different games that are going on, and if you're just scrolling through, whether you're watching 7 innings live or you're just going through the scores themselves, this score is going to catch your eye. The fact that it is just 1-0 in a 1 versus 4 seed matchup in this regional and a close game. I mean, you're going to start tuning in thinking, man, NKU could be on upset alert here against Tennessee. They are in it. Flores has been pitching fantastic, and I just loved her mentality going into this game.
Tennessee has beaten NKU their last 3 meetings by a combined score of 35-2. Who would have thought, Amanda, that coming into the bottom of the 5th, we would have a 1-run game, and NKU, a team that in April wasn't even sure they'd make their own conference tournament, has a chance against nationally seeded Tennessee.
Well, and
Strike 1.
you talked about how they're 10-0 in 1-run games. We talked to NKU players about that. They're very comfortable in close games. They love it. They never lose belief. They keep their spirits up in the dugout. They're feeling good about 1-run games, especially as of late. On that win streak, as you mentioned, their last 10-game win streak, 6 of those games have been decided by 1 run.
Schuler into pinch run at first base for Clark. 1-1 count rather for Butt. Clark at the plate with a 1-1 count. Tennessee has been to almost as many Women's College World Series as years the Norse have been Division I. Pretty amazing when you think about it. Second NCAA tournament in program history since going D1 in 2012. 2 outs for Flores. What a pitch! Knee buckler gets out of the inning, stranding another Lady Vols runner.
This is one of those times that as a pitcher, out of your hand, you see it across the plate. You literally don't even wait for the umpire to call it because you just know. Drops a changeup in there, celebrates with Emma Gann, her catcher. Flores' first strikeout of the game.
Season 2 of Athletes Unlimited Softball League. Loading 6 teams take the field in their home markets, each stacked with a lineup worthy of the spotlight. The AUSL on ESPN. This is legendary.
So excited for the return of the league, and it's going to look a little different this year. 2 added teams. Carlin Pickens, the #1 overall pick in the AUSL draft, beginning June 9th, and now in the bullpen for Tennessee late in this game. Still a 1-run battle, top of the 6th, and NKU trying to do the impossible.
And we have another AUSL connection in our regional because the head coach for Indiana, Shonda Stanton, is also the head coach for the Chicago Bandits, one of the 6 teams in the AUSL. And then, of course, Aubrey Leach, who is Alana and Gabby Leach's sister, is in the dugout for Tennessee on their coaching staff. She will be teammates with Carlin Pickens on the Carolina Blaze.
Morgan Heineke pinch hitting for NKU in the 8th spot in place of Victoria Flores. Still just the 1 hit tonight for the Norse. Lexi Morris got a hand of 1. Tried to stretch a single into a double. Otherwise, there's just been 1 other base runner tonight for NKU. That was a walk back in the 4th. To second base, Clark bobbles, spins and throws, not in time. Heineke beats it, and a rare infield error by Emma Clark. who again moved from first base to second base at the start of the NCAA tournament.
I didn't feel like she attacked this ground ball. I felt like she just kind of floated over there, and it ended up eating her up instead of her being aggressive. It got a kind of an in-between hop. Yeah, any free pass right now or mistake like that is very important in a one-run game.
Victoria Flores will come in to run, the starting pitcher for the Norse. Alicia Flores' sister, twin sister, Victoria Flores, back in to run.
We have a couple of sister pairs on the field.
Chapman at the plate, just the second time tonight that she has come to the dish.
You can feel it in Northern Kentucky's dugout, and this is a big reason that Karen Weekly and Megan Rhodes Smith are going to go out and talk to Tennessee. This inning started out in a 2-0 count, and then the air, and then another 2-0 count. So Megan Rhodes Smith and Karen Weekly not liking the start of this inning whatsoever, wanting to get out in front of it and stop, just kind of how this is feeling. On the other hand, Northern Kentucky, their dugout is getting emboldened by what they're seeing. These hitters counts, the air, feeling like they have a chance here with the top of the order looming.
You know, Morgan Jarek, no stranger to championship runs, was part of the Northwestern 2022 run of the Women's College World Series as a grad assistant. Played there for the Drohans and told us that that experience is one she will never forget. Beautiful bunt dropped down by Chapman. Only play is at first on a sidearm sling by Morrison. Not an easy throw for the Tennessee catcher. One down, and now the tying run in scoring position in the 6th for NKU.
It's going to be their first chance with the runner in scoring position. Looked like they were going to have one last inning when Lexi Morris tried to stretch a single into a double, but Tennessee's defense stepped up.
Leadoff hitter Mac Brow, third time through the order now for NKU.
I mean, that drop ball has 12 inches of break. Okay, hold up both of your hands for a foot. Everybody knows what a foot looks like, right? That is how much Aaron Newer's drop ball is falling off the table when you're trying to hit that 12-inch break with a bat. It's only a couple of inches.
Bunt dropped down. Brow trying to beat it, can't. Newer makes the play, but up to third goes Flores. Morgan Jarek talking with Flores at third as Kenzie Goley comes to the plate. We asked her, what do you remember about that 2022 Wildcats team? And she said there was a deep belief in that group. She senses something similar with her NKU roster this year. (10-0) this year in one-run games are the Norse. They've won a program record 10 straight to get to the regional here in Knoxville.
That's a good-looking swing right there by Goley. She just missed that. And they told us when we asked him about playing in these close games, this is a quote, "We know we are winning close games."
(0-2). What a take. Kenzie Goley has seen 15 pitches today by Aaron Newer. None tighter than this one. Tying run at third, 2 down in the 6th. Round 1 of the NCAA tournament. Goley to third, bobbled by Maddie Rutan, and it's a tie game in Knoxville. And here come the Norse.
Remember the great take, the pitch before that she could have been struck out on, to get to this pitch, just to put it in play, to put pressure on Tennessee's defense. Maddie Rutan now at third base. Tennessee shuffled up their infield again before this inning, and NKU takes advantage of 2 errors in this inning to tie the game up.
Two errors in the inning, 2 sacrifices in the inning, and we've got a 1-1 game in the 6th.
Great execution by Northern Kentucky to advance base runners 60 feet, putting the bunt down and getting a runner to third base. That's why you love having a runner at third base 60 feet away from scoring, because there's so many different ways to score. It could be a pass ball, a wild pitch, an error like that. And all it takes is one bobble to score you a run.
0-1 to Jenna Rhodes. One of the heroes of the Horizon League tournament. The MVP with the walk-off home run in the semifinal against Green Bay to send the Norse to the championship game.
You know, Tennessee talked to us about how they feel like their hitting is contagious in a good way and also in a bad way. When they're not hitting, that's contagious. When they are hitting, that's contagious. But I also feel like these errors are contagious for Tennessee. 2 in this inning, 8 errors in their last 5 games.
And with a young team, Karen's challenge all year has been, don't focus on when things don't go well. The proof in you being a dominant team is there. Dominant pitch there by Erin Newer, her 5th strikeout. But it's a brand new game on Rocky Top. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. I feel like they just got sealed. 2 sacks and 2 errors. By the way, did Sela lose today? Dang it.
What was the final?
Dang it.
What was the final, Grip? Do you know? 1-0? Yeah. Two errors and 2 sack bunts led to a Northern Kentucky run. An error at second base by Emma Clark, and then an error by Maddie Rutan over at third base after the 2 sack bunts that were put down. Great execution by NKU, a couple of mistakes by Tennessee to lead to NKU tying up this run. And remember, Tennessee worked on their defense after their early exit at the SEC tournament, went back to the fundamentals, went back to the basics, practiced a lot of defense, working on staying slow and keeping their eyes on the ball. And unfortunately for them, 2 crucial mistakes lead to now tie game.
7, 8, and 9 due up for Tennessee in the 6th. And back in the circle for NKU, Alicia Flores, the redshirt senior. had a back injury her junior year, as Amanda alluded to earlier in tonight's game, that sidelined her for an entire season. Came back last year, wasn't herself, struggled at times, getting back into the groove of things. Wanted to come back for her redshirt year and finish on her own terms. And isn't it fitting that they're back in Knoxville, where she helped this team reach their first NCAA appearance just a few years ago?
Yeah, in 2023, she was the pitcher in the championship game that closed things out. So this is a pitcher who knows what it feels like to pitch under pressure. She's very comfortable pitching in close games.
Launched. Morrison breaks the 1-1 tie. Over the top of the wall in left field, and a 2-1 lead for Tennessee.
This ball, Ella Morrison gets all of it. I mean, it just sounded different coming off the bat. 78 miles an hour exit speed. That went 263 feet. It was headed to the railroad tracks over the Smoky Mountains out there in left field. Long gone. And what a response by Tennessee. Karen Weekly called her team together after that tough inning, rallied everybody around, and she was having a talk with them, as any head coach would after a tough inning like that in this game. And that's exactly what you want to see. Your team wastes no time to respond and answer right back after giving up a run.
The 1-1 tie lasted 5 pitches. Both runs in this game off solo bombs for Tennessee. Holly floats it into right. Back on it, Miller Stens one away.
The shortstop, number 12, Bella Fall.
Bella Fall, the one infielder that hasn't been shuffled around entering the postseason. A season-long starter at shortstop. 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. Batting in the 9 spot, 1 down. Base is clear. That might have clipped her. No, it hit dirt and bounced over her cleat for ball 2. Check that, ball 1. 100th pitch of the day for Flores. In the air to right, drifting over gully, 2 outs.
And then look at Flores' response here. Gives up the home run, doesn't let it get to her. She gets the next 2 hitters out. It's a senior leader responding right back. And the postseason are all about these response moments that you're going to see from teams that compete.
That was the 11th fly ball out of the day for Flores. Just the 1 strikeout. A lot of pitching to contact. Her defense has backed her up. Tennessee has left 8 runners aboard tonight against Flores. Nobody on, 2 outs, 1-0 count tonight. Winner of this opening round matchup will get the winner of Virginia and Indiana coming your way next, right around 8 Eastern over on ESPN. Knight lasered past the glove of Flores for a base knock. Her 2nd time aboard tonight.
Right fielder, number 55, Gabby Leach.
And now passes the bat to Gabby Leach. And Knight always a threat to steal.
Just thinking about how cool it is, and Gabby, with Gabby Leach and Alana Leach, Alana talked to us about getting to play with her sister and experience this career at Tennessee together. And Aubrey Leach is also in the dugout, who was a Tennessee great and still playing professionally with the AUSL on the Blaze. When they talked about how much they look up to Aubrey Leach and pick her brain about everything, not just the big things, but the small things. They're constantly asking her questions. Was I on time? How did that route look in the outfield? There she is with the hat, hiding behind Ella Dodge. Just an instrumental piece in this coaching staff, a great resource because she's still playing at an elite level, one of the best infielders in the world, right there in the dugout. And it's a Leach family that has produced so many softball players, and right on cue, Kelsey as well, who played for Tennessee. All four sisters played at Tennessee. The Leach sisters, been a great bunch and a great softball family.
Their father, Todd, said he remembered specifically the twins, Gabby and Alana, at a very young age, running around the house using pillows to slide into as if they were bases. And he said he quickly learned this was not just for play. Winning that little game was of utmost importance, and that competitiveness has now carried over into their collegiate years at the University of Tennessee. 1-2 count to Gabby. Lays off ball 2. Runner goes. Knight is in behind the throw as it got away from Lexi Morris. And a stolen bag for Sophia Knight.
No surprise that Tennessee is going to be aggressive, knowing that they're 3 outs away with a 1-run lead. For Tennessee, you want another insurance run going to the top of the 7th.
Full count with a runner in scoring position. Leach into left center. It will find grass and it will score. Knight after her 14th stolen base of the year. A 2-run 6th and some breathing room on Rocky Top for Tennessee.
This game has been a 1-run game or a tie game. So this is the biggest lead, of course, that Tennessee has had. And going to the 7th inning, it feels big. Just 3 outs away from winning the first game at this regional as Gabby Leach works a great at-bat, finds a gap, and switches places with Knight after she stole to get her speed into second base.
And I believe we will have a pitching change for Northern Kentucky. Makari Chapman just exited the bullpen for NKU as if she was going to enter this game. Maybe not. Sticking with Alicia Flores, who really for the first time tonight in this inning has been hit with regularity. 4th time that Tennessee has seen her, now in the 6th.
109 pitches, and she's still continuing to hang tight and fight in this game. You could tell that Morgan Jarek went out there and called everybody in, but was specifically talking to Flores, likely about how she felt and if she wants to get this last out.
This is why the Dodge was so tough, Amanda, to face this lineup 4 times in the same night.
Any lineup is tough to face 4 times in the same night, especially because of all the prep done on the front end side of things where the hitters have already felt like they faced you. scouting reports and data. They're preparing for Flores likely all week, what they're going to face against her. 58, 59, curveball spin, right at the knees. They're prepping for that.
Dodge pops it up. It'll get out of play. Tennessee still threatening with Leach at second base. In the air to center. Left fielder Flores makes the catch. That ends the inning. Morrison with a solo bomb, and Tennessee with some breathing room as we head to the 7th inning. Can the Lady Vols hang on? NKU down to their final 3 outs when we come back.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
That is the trophy at the end of this long road that all 64 teams are now chasing. 7th overall seed Tennessee was in a 1-1 game entering the 6th. Then they played it 2 runs. They now carry their largest lead of the night into the top of the 7th. Final 3 outs for NKU, middle of their lineup. And ball 1 to Brielle DeMemo. Already saw 1 national seed fall today. Host Florida State losing to Stetson. A local Florida foe. And Tennessee trying to avoid a rare instance in the NCAA tournament, and that is 2 national seeds losing on the same day on their regional field. Last time that happened was all the way back in 2012. Tennessee was one of those teams. Hitters count to DeMemo. 75th pitch of the day for Newer. Rolled to third. It's Dodge moving back over to third base. Makes the play, 1 down.
The second baseman, number 11, Peyton Mueller-Stens.
Boy, Peyton Newer's been good tonight, hasn't she?
Yeah, just so efficient, low pitch count, only 76 pitches now that she's thrown, and I just love the way that she attacked the zone early in the game. No nerves for her whatsoever. Karen Wigley said that she has this warrior mindset, this steady mindset that she brings to the circle, and you've seen that throughout this game. I mean, it's been a tight, close game, but you would never know it from looking at Erin Newer in the circle.
Strike 2 to Miller Stenz.
And that rise ball is just so unique to her. It has 15 to 16 inches of break up in the zone. An off-speed pitch that is just one of the more unique pitches in the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned the mindset shift this year for Newer. A let it fly mentality, and Karen Weekly told us that she challenged Erin. Go be the killer in the circle that we recruited you to be. Boy, has she stepped up in a big way in that respect.
And again, she had not pitched since May 2nd at Missouri. So it had been almost 2 weeks since she had gotten to pitch in a game and putting in the work in the bullpen for this moment.
And is 1 out away from an opening round win in the NCAA tournament, her 6th strikeout.
This is that rise ball again. You can see the backward rotation. She gets underneath it, spins it through the zone. 6 strikeouts tonight for Erin Newer.
It is up to Lexi Morris, who had a great at bat against Newer last time up in the 5th. Rocked a pitch into left center. Got caught at second base trying to extend a single into a double. That was the lone hit tonight so far for NKU.
I think Tennessee is going to take away from this game a lot of confidence in Erin Newer. Confidence in their response. They answered back immediately after NKU tied up the game, but I think still feeling a little unsure about their defense going into tomorrow.
Newer with the ring up. 7 strikeouts in a complete game. 1 run, 1 hit victory to start the NCAA tournament.
Erin Newer is just so much fun to watch pitch. Her drop ball at 70, her rise ball, that's one of the more unique pitches in the tournament. That was working. I mean, really just a 2-pitch mix for Erin Newer, and both of them were working tonight to throw the complete game and get the first win of the regional for Tennessee.
The first pitch for regional game number 2 will be.
Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance.
Elsa Morrison's home run to get the lead back to Tennessee. 2 solo home runs in this game. The last one that was hit was off the bat of the catcher, the freshman Elsa Morrison, back behind the plate, doing it in a big way with a 263-foot home run.
Pair of homers in tonight's game for Tennessee, helping Erin Newer improve to 11-0 this year as a starter. And Elsa Morrison now joins us. Elsa, congrats on the home run and the victory. How good did that feel to come off your bat to lead off the inning for Tennessee?
Oh, it was great. Great way to rebound for my team after, harder inning in the field for us, but, the response was great.
Coach Weekly talked to us about you guys as an offense staying committed to the plan. What were you committed to in that at-bat?
I was committed to swinging at strikes, winning the belt. I got down 3-0 in that count, so just being kind of picky on the plate, looking for the pitch I wanted to drive.
Elsa, you got to catch this game of Erin Newer, and she just pitched a gem, but what did you see from your perspective back behind the plate?
Her break was unbelievable tonight. She was locating the ball, if not as best as I've seen this whole season, and she really had great command on every single one of her pitches.
Thank you so much, Elsa. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the winner's bracket of this Knoxville Regional.
Thank you. Go Vols.
So Tennessee will await the winner of Indiana and Virginia. Coming up next over on ESPN, a little after 8 Eastern. Amanda and I will have the call, and the winner of that will get Tennessee in tomorrow's winner's bracket at 3 Eastern, starting a loaded elimination Saturday. Tennessee took a little bit of fight, a little bit of extra something late in the game. They hang on to take down NKU and advance into the winner's bracket. Dari, Haley, back to you.